The number one thing I can say about New York is that you have to be ready for anything. We are on our feet, we don't travel by car. Like, is it gonna rain? Is it gonna snow? For me, that plays a part in things I wear. I always wanna be comfortable. And I think that the people watching is so important to your day-to-day. You know, you put your phone down and it's this place where you can soak in some inspiration and sort of like reconnect.
Every single girl that kind of grew up the same way I did looked at Vashtie for all the fashion keynotes. I remember I saw the coldest pic of her walking with literally a white hoodie, some cut-off jean shorts, some Jordan 2s, and a Louis Vuitton purse. It was just so dope to see a girl like myself. She did it, I can do it. This is someone that I can look at that's relatable. Because I can look at her and I can see myself.
How are you?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. I love it.
So I thought you were gonna wear yours today.
You know what?
And
I had to wear these. There's no way.
no, and vice versa. I had to wear mine, so you know.
I love it. I love it.
Took them out the vault, you know.
Okay. They're very crispy.
Where are we?
Okay, so Overthrow is a boxing gym at the very basic, but the guys that run this place are all about preserving New York City culture.
Yeah.
It's a little part of history, I feel like.
Yeah. So you go ham here.
You know, I try to.
So I know you for like downtown sweetheart. Where did this name come from?
Okay, so it really just came from the fact that like I really embrace like the people that I know in this city. If it's going to the coffee shop or going to the bodega, like I just have small talk with everyone. And one of my homeboys was like, I can't walk with you anywhere. You're gonna stop and talk to everyone.
Yeah. So moving into Violet, how did that start? I personally know when you had your blog and it was your cat. And I feel like I know your cat, but I don't know him.
You know, being a young woman, but also loving very masculine.
New York.
Gotta love it. You know, I grew up as a tomboy and I was interested in things that at the time weren't mainstream and weren't like cool for people of color and especially not women of color. So again, you know, like I grew up loving streetwear, loving sneakers. And at that time, there wasn't much of an option for girls. And I just felt like, you know, there's a brand that I have in mind that I want to create that really speaks to me. So that's how my brand Violet was born. And I was also finding a place within the internet. Like I stumbled upon blogging.
What's up? It's Vashtie and happy 2011.
It's interesting, the internet gets a bad rap sometimes, but it's nice because I found people like me in other cities all around the world, you know, people that look like me, and I've been able to find community in a sense. And even when I started seeing you on the internet, I was like, wow, this girl, like, I feel like we have so much in common.
Like we've been seeing you. No.
It's just important to, girls link up, you know, because it is a lot of pressure being a girl, especially on the internet. You start comparing yourself, why don't I look like this and this? And I mean, it's really important to just have a mentor in general.
I'm meeting a lot of young women who say that I've inspired them, which is a huge compliment, and it's a shocker because
What?
I know it is. It is. I mean,
Don't be shocked.
I mean, I lived my life so much like in my own head.
What you were doing back then was influencing us as a generation now.
God, I had no idea.
What are some of the obstacles that you've had to go through, you know, in order for this lane to really open up?
Right. I mean, I think in the beginning for me, the difficult thing was dressing like how we're dressed and wanting to go out with your friends to the club.
Yeah.
I've literally had doormen say, you're wearing sneakers, like you're not coming in here. Like you're wearing a t-shirt, yeah. All kinds of people, not just men, just sort of looked at it as like, oh, that's not ladylike. And that really made me want to challenge that even more. Like, you know what, I'm gonna go to a red carpet event in Jordans. And also, what was another challenge was that people in fashion didn't see streetwear as something to respect or to find inspiration in. And now we're at a time where it's literally that. Every second I turn, I'm like, who is that? What are they wearing? It's a literal walking fashion show.
2010, I walked into Leaders and I saw your shoe for the first time. I actually had no idea at the time that it was, you know, like the first woman's sneaker.
Wow.
And it was just more of like, okay, I love these shoes. What was that process like? And like, how did you even think about it too when you did it?
Right, okay. Well, the interesting story is that I was obsessed with Jordans and like was known as a girl who's always wearing Jordans. I had a birthday party in 2009. My management, they were like, oh, what kind of birthday cake do you want? And I was like, you know, I want...
The 3?
The 3.
I remember that pic. You're like,
yeah, and I was so like in love with it. I was like, no one's touching it. We're not cutting it. We're not eating it. No. No. I was like, in my West Indian mind, I was like, we have to save it.
yeah.
And I was like,
I'm
I'm
gonna put it in the freezer for life.
And so it spread, and then a lot of people were talking about it. Yeah. And then Astor Chambers, who's an incredible human being, he was like, what? He's like, oh my God, you know I'm a brand Jordan right now. I'm like, what? And he's like, you gotta do a Jordan.
But how did you go about with the design process?
You know, my brand being violet, I wanted it to like represent that. It was a gray enough violet that it was sort of masculine. And the other thing was that it was the 25th anniversary of the two. You know, I kind of researched, I was like, what do you get someone for the 25th anniversary or something? So one of the things was silver, so we put silver in the laces.
And you kind of see it on the bottom of the shoe as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
the
exactly.
sole. So now I'm like, oh, it makes sense. It all makes sense 10 years later. It's all coming back. You know, where exactly are we?
We are on Lafayette in the heart and soul of SoHo. People come here to skate, people come here to buy fashion, people come here to hang out and be seen. That's the other thing. So I feel like it was sort of Instagram before Instagram in a way. Wow, that is amazing! Do you see this? I got a salad. Okay, and she gets,
You know, YOLO. I mean, did it intimidate you to find out you were the first girl that was gonna create this Jordan? Did you go into the meeting knowing that?
No. It's interesting because there wasn't much support in the press that was lined up for it. I didn't even know the shoe had dropped until I got a notification on Twitter.
No way.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool, thanks for the info,
And
guys.
this was like before Instagram days, so I feel like a lot of younger people didn't see it, you know?
Yeah.
So it was crazy because I'm like, we haven't come out with a women's Jordan in how many years?
Yeah, it's really sad because, but I think that, I won't say it's sad. You know what, nowadays I'm always looking for, yeah. But now I'm looking for the positive words. I'm like, okay, you know what, it's about time that they realize that there is a community of us that, you know, because of social media and the internet, we can see it and we can also support. But I think it's really nice how you're doing it because it's definitely authentic to like who you are, how we dress, but just like, you know, it's a representation where in those spaces, there was no representation. And I think that you're doing it in such a beautiful way.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And I feel like I have a responsibility, you know, to rep for all the girls like ourselves.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's really tight. Like when somebody that I've always looked up to is kind of telling you like, yo, you're doing well, and they're older than you and they've seen a lot of things that you haven't yet, just to kind of remind you you're on the right track and making sure that like you represent, you know, people before you and also like the next to come.